Virgo, welcome to your weekly horoscope for April 20th to the 26th, 2026. My name's Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer. Virgo, this is a week of depth, truth, and transformation, and not the kind that you can actualize your way through. This is emotional, energetic, and at times uncomfortable, but it is necessary because what's being activated now is your relationship to control, vulnerability, and the deeper layers of your life that you don't always show the world. Now, on April 20th, we start the week off with a heavy, concentrated activation in your eighth house of shared resources, intimacy, and psychological depth and transformation. We have Mercury forming a conjunction to both Mars and Saturn in Aries, while we are still in the Mars Saturn conjunction energy that we had on April 19th. This is pressure beneath the surface. This is you facing something real, something that requires maturity, honesty, and emotional strength. This could relate to finances you share with others, or debts, investments, or even emotional entanglements. This could be conversations that may feel serious, direct, and unavoidable that just need to be had. This is where you take responsibility for your part. However, you do have to watch for control issues here, fear, avoidance, or you feeling very overwhelmed by the intensity of what's coming up. You want to be careful of not shutting down emotionally to protect yourself. This is not the time to retreat into logic. This is the time to stay present with what's real. You don't need to have everything figured out, but you do need to be honest about what you're feeling and what needs to change. Then we get to April 23rd, and this is where the energy shifts into your ninth house of beliefs, expansion, and perspective, as we have Venus and Uranus forming a conjunction in Taurus for the final time. As we know, Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And so when they form a conjunction, this is actually quite potent. So this is going to bring up some type of a closing. This can be a breakthrough in how you see the world, your beliefs, your religious beliefs, philosophical beliefs, or even something around teaching or traveling. This could bring sudden insight, new opportunities for travel or learning, or a shift in belief systems that really open your mind in a completely new way. You may feel inspired to explore something different. You may even step outside of your comfort zone, or even question something that you once saw as kind of outside of societal norms you may now be open to. This is liberation through perspective. However, you do have to watch for restlessness here, resistance to change, or feeling unsettled by new information or experiences that challenge your current worldview. You don't need to have all the answers, but you do need to stay open. Growth requires you to outgrow old ways of thinking. Then we get to April 24th, and we have Venus moving into your 10th house of career, public image, and life direction. And this is where the focus suddenly shifts to your external world. This is visibility. This is recognition. This is you attracting opportunities in your career, being seen in a more positive and aligned way. You may feel more confident in how you present yourself professionally. This is your moment to show up. However, you do have to be careful of seeking external validation or making decisions based on how they look rather than how they feel. You need to align your external success with your internal truth, because if it looks good but doesn't feel right, it won't last. It's not necessarily aligned. Then we get to April 25th, and this is where the energy shifts long term as we have Uranus officially entering your 10th house in Gemini, beginning this 8-year evolution in your career, your public identity, and your life path. This is a professional awakening. This brings innovation, new opportunities, and the freedom to redefine your path. You may feel called to do something completely different over the next 8 years. You may want to break away from traditional structures, or even pursue a direction that feels more aligned with who you are becoming. This is not a small shift. This is a reinvention of your trajectory. But you do have to watch for instability over the next 8 years, sudden changes in your career, or feeling uncertain about your direction. Just remember that you're not losing your path, you are upgrading it. But you do need to stay adaptable. You need to be willing to evolve. Then we get to April 25th, and we have the sun in your ninth house, forming a square to Pluto in your sixth house of work, routine, and health. This is tension between your vision and your reality. You may feel like daily life doesn't match the bigger picture that you're trying to create. There may be frustrations with work, responsibilities, or even your physical well being. However, this is transformation of some kind. This could be you making changes in your daily life that support your long term vision. But you do have to watch for burnout here, or control issues, or trying to force productivity without addressing the deeper issue. You do need to ask yourself, is my routine supporting my growth or limiting it? Because something may need to shift. Then we get to April 26th, and we have Mercury in your eighth house, forming a square to Jupiter in your 11th house of community, social circles, friendships, and future goals. This can bring tension between your personal depth and your external connections. You may feel like you're processing something deeply while others around you are operating on a more surface level. So conversations could feel misaligned, or you may struggle to express what you're going through. You could receive insight at this time, or even find a way to communicate your truth that connects with others. However, you do have to watch for oversharing or shutting down completely. You need to find a healthy balance. And just remember, not everyone needs to access your inner world, but the right people will understand it. And then we have Venus in your 10th house, forming a sextile to Neptune in your 8th house. This is depth meeting visibility. This is where your vulnerability becomes your strength. This is where your authenticity attracts the right people, the right recognition, the right path. This is not about being perfect. This is about being real. Virgo, this week is about transformation and alignment. You are being asked to go deeper, to be more honest, and to align your external life with your internal truth. It may feel uncomfortable, but that is true power. Remember, Virgo, that right now it's not just change, this is all a part of your evolution.